actually.
There better not be that.
It's beautiful.
All right, let's go. 1%. So rules rewind due on Tuesday.
Okay.
And we are going to make a good start on 3-2 right now. So identify the following: their growth or decay, give the initial value, and the percentage of growth or decay. So we have done enough of these, had enough discussion already for you to recognize that this is going to be a decay.
Yeah.
Because that guy right there is less than 1. Now, the percent growth or decay, in this case decay, the percent decay is going to be how much less than 1 this is. So this number is less than 1. How much less than 1 is it?
0.37.
So 3.7, whoa, 3.7% decay. Now, how did they get that number? They subtracted this from 1. How much less than 1 is it? That is your percent decay. All right, everybody understand that? Okay, your initial value is this number right here. In any growth or decay situation, you have to start somewhere and either grow or shrink. That right there is your y-intercept, your initial point. That's it. So whatever we're measuring here, 5,607 people, $5,607, grams, whatever it is, that's what we're starting with. Got it? All right, B, tell me what's happening in B. 7.2%. And the growth and the initial value is 3.72 or 3.75. Yep. All right, now you write your own equations. So your format is going to be A times B to the X. This guy right here is always your initial value. So for question A, it's going to be 21. And then what is going in the parentheses? 1.21. Because it's 21% more than 1. All right? What about B? .6. 0.97 to the X. That's exactly right. Why is it 0.97? Because it's 3% less than 1. Right, Charlie? Okay. Now, C is a little bit tricky. It says it's doubling. So are you okay putting a 2 in there? We're doubling, timesing by 2. But now it's every 3 days. Any idea how to handle that? Actually, it's the opposite of that. It's actually X over 3, or 1/3 X. Think about it like this. If I wait 3 days, I double 1 time. Would you agree with me? So if X is 3, I double 1 time. You see why it's X over 3 now? Okay. D, initial value is 200. I am halving, so you can either put 0.5 or 1/2 every 6 years. X over 6, yep, that's exactly right, every 6 years. All right, we okay with that section? Pretty easy. All right, number 3. We're going to write the equation of the exponential. So basically, we're doing the same thing. Only we don't have all that information. All we know is that we have these 2 points. So there's a curve out there, an exponential curve, and you're gonna write the equation of it. But you only have these 2 points. Any idea at all about how we might do that, Caitlin?
Well, we're plugging like the first point into the.
Okay, very good, very good. So that means 4 equals A times B to the 0. There are lots of variables here, guys. Remember, your point is x comma y. So 4 goes in for y, 0 goes in for x. Tell me about this.
A equals 4.
It's 1, so A is 4. So in your equation, you now know that A is 4. So this is where we're at now. We know this is 4. Okay? Now, what am I going to do?
X is 5.
Plug in the other point. So 8.05,
Equals 4 times B to the 3.
yep, equals 4 times b to the 5th. So 8.05 equals 4 times b to the 5th. So any idea on how we're going to handle
Divide by
this?
4.
Divide by 4. So 8.05 divided 8.05 divided by 4. 2.0125 equals b to the 5th.
5th rooted.
5th rooted. And that'll give us b, right? Okay, so now you have 2 ways of typing that in on the calculator. One way is if you go to math, if you go to your math menu, you see an option, for me it's number 5, but I don't know what it is for you, where it's an X root.
Yeah, it's 5.
See it? Okay, so to use that button, the first thing you do is press this 5 right here. You have to tell it which root. So press 5, then press that button, and then press 2.0125. That's what I have to do. You guys with newer calculators may be able to do it other ways. But that should give it to you.
1.15.
I didn't get it typed in, but 1.
1501.
Okay, anybody match that? I didn't type it in.
Yeah.
Got that? Okay, so that's one option. The other option is to take 2.0125 and raise it
The 1/5.
to the 1/5 power. That's how I usually do it because it's just easier for me, but it makes no difference. So if I raise that, I get 1.1501, which is exactly what you guys said. So my answer, y equals 4 times 1.015,
1.1501.
1501 to the x. You guys without a calculator are going to be up the creek.
What's that mean?
Been doing that without a calculator? You want to volunteer?
What?
All right, next. Repeat it for these 2 points. All right, so 0, 3, and 4, 1.49.
Your A is 3.
Okay, now Elijah has already said that A is 3. Does that make sense to everybody? Remember, A is the initial value. So it is the value at the beginning of the problem when x is 0, the beginning of the problem. So we have y equals 3 into the x. So 1.49 equals 3 e to the 4th. So we'll divide by 3, whatever that is, and then either 4th root it or raise it to the 1/4 power. Did you get 0.8309?
Ma'am. Wait,
1.43 divided by 3. No, I got it, 0.8309.
Yeah, so that's like what I got. I was rounding.
So y equals 3 times 0.8309 to the x power.
How do you get 1.43?
Was that 1.49?
Oh, it is 49.
Yeah.
So it's not that number, because I think that's what I typed in. Yeah, 1.49 divided by 3. It should be
I got the same answer.
8395.
Hey, that's what.
Why'd you say 0.427?
I gave it one.
So why can't you divide 1.49 by 3 at the start?
You can, but then you'll have to round that off. You can, but don't round it off. This one, I divided, but it came out evenly.
Yeah.
If you do 1.49 divided by 3, it's some big decimal that doesn't stop.
Okay.
So then if you rounded that off, when you fourth root it, it's gonna be rounded off even more. So I didn't do that one because I just want to keep it in my calculator and I haven't rounded off. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Is, well, then that's the first thing you're gonna do there. You're gonna do that division, and then you're gonna fourth root that number. All right, any other questions about those? Okay, so an exponential looks like this. That is an exponential. Now we are going to do a logistic. So our logistic setup is going to be this. All right, that is going to be our logistic setup. So this is our exponential setup right here. This is our logistic setup. So let's look at what they told us. They said the initial value is 10. The limit to growth is 3. And it contains the point 1, 20. So that's the given. Notice that there are 3 pieces of given because I have to find 3 variables. Over here, I only had 2 pieces of given because I only needed to find 2 variables. All right, so looking at what we know, is there anything there that might help us?
You plug in 10 for A space.
Be careful. A is not the initial value in a logistic function. It is the initial value in an exponential
You
function.
plug in 20 for
And
X.
for what?
20 for Y. I mean 20 for Y and 40 for X. Right?
You plug
All right, I want to back up. Remember the New York City problem?
Yeah.
The New York City problem, we had an equation, I'm going to kind of abbreviate it a little bit. We had 19.875 over 1 plus a bunch of junk. Okay? And we, from that, with Patton's help, we were able to determine the maximum growth of the population. Right? What was it? What was that asymptote?
100.875.
It was that number, wasn't it? Isn't this where I get my top asymptote? So, if that's my top asymptote of my logistic function, that's the limit to growth. So that tells me that that number right there
Oh,
is
it's 40.
40. In a logistic function, this is going to be the limit to growth as long as that is a 1. And since I'm building the equation,
What?
it's okay, we're good. Since I'm building the equation,
Come on, guys.
back in the old days when I was in debasement, this would have been very bad. But now we have all this stuff.
Yeah, we're good.
40 over 1
Doesn't bother me.
is going to be my limit to growth.
Kenny?
Okay, so now I have this equation. Now, what does it mean to be an initial value? It means x is 0. X is 0. Time, usually x is time. Time is 0. So I have the point 0, 10. Okay?
Yeah.
So I'm going to come over here to my equation. 10 equals 40 over 1 plus bc to the 0. So I'm taking my equation right there. Sam?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I'm taking my equation right there, and I'm plugging in 0, 10. Your initial value is what y is when x is 0, always. Even up here, every equation, the initial value is your y-intercept. So, what do I know about c to the 0?
One.
It's 1. So I have 10 equal to 40 over 1 plus b. All right, what do you want to do now to solve that?
Multiply.
You don't need a flashlight. You don't need a flashlight. We're good. I got a brighter marker.
Multiply 1
So
plus 1.
multiply this over here. So 10 plus 10b equals 40.
Yeah.
You see what I did?
Yeah, you
Minus
times
10.
it on both sides.
Minus
that's
10,
not
so
multiplied.
10b equals 30, and b is 3. So now I can come up here, and I can put a 3 right here. Aren't you glad you had second lunch?
Man, imagine eating in the
No, I'm not done yet.
Oh, I think it's 3. It might be, but it's 115.
It's not 150.
It's not even close.
Not even close. Don't try and get on
That's
gotta be a goofer.
Guys, we haven't used this yet. What are we gonna do with this? X is
Gotta
1,
plug it in.
Y is 20. So
20 equals.
40 over 1 plus 3, c to the first. So 20 plus 60c equals 40. Write this over here. So 60c equals 20.
C equals 1/3.
C is 1/3. So then I can put that in here. And now I'm finished. Now I am finished. Here is the deal. They give you 3 things, but it's very beneficial to use them in a particular order. So let's back up. What was the first piece of information we put into our equation? The limit to growth. The limit to growth. Then we put in the initial value, and then we put in the random point. So let's do the next one. Remembering that our goal is A over 1 plus BC to the X. That's what we're shooting for. We know in problem B that the limit to growth is 128. So that goes in on top. because this ratio right here, this ratio, 128/1, is my limit to growth.
And then your limit value is 16. So why is it
My
16?
initial value is 16. So that means I have the point 0, 16. Initial value is y-intercept. So 16 equals 128, 1 plus bc to the 0th,
So just 1 plus b?
which is the same as just 1 plus b. Because c to the 0th is 1. So I'll bring that 1 plus b over. Don't forget to distribute.
This is what I'm thinking my math.
What is that, 112?
Yeah.
So b is
1.17.
112
Oh, wait.
should divide by 16.
Oh. 7, no, it does.
It should be 7.
7. So b is 7.
And then,
So now wait a second. Y equals,
Hello, Cathedral High School. I wanted to give a quick announcement. We will be switching the next period. So at 1:15, we ask that teachers release their students to the next period. Again, at 1:15, please release your students to the next period, and we will update you on the power outage. Until you hear further announcements, everybody should stay in the class and we'll be going through after 1:15. Please leave your class at 1:15, and we will keep you updated on the power outage.
let me guess.
108.
alright, so is everybody with me up to this point now? I have one more thing to plug in, and that is that random point. So 32 equals 128 over 1 plus 7 c to the 5th.
And then so you times it on both sides.
So I'm gonna bring this over to here. So 32 plus that 224, I'll double check, so I'm gonna mess it up. Hey, you guys, come on, we're better than this. Let's go. So I'm gonna subtract 32. 96. And c to the 5th equals 224 over 96.
That would be 96 over.
Oh, yeah, thank you. There's too much noise. So that should be good.
I don't think it's a problem.
That's it.
It reduces to 3/7. And then we take the 5th root of it. Now, this one is not going to be nice like the last one was, right? So we're going to have to get some crazy decimal. I got 0.844.
Yeah.
So then my final answer, look, this is all one problem. The final answer is going to be y equals 128, 1 plus 7, 844 to the x.
How much?
I don't know, but you better. Guaranteed test question.
Oh, what? All right, that's what I was like.
Nope. Luckily for us, we have time to do one more problem.
Yes!
Look at problem C. And it is the same thing, except with the picture this time. Alright, so you and your partner take a minute. Footnote, you're finding the equation of the logistic function. this exact thing, given the information that you've been given in the problem. Right. Stop. Start. Okay, we're not leaving. We're gonna get this done. And as soon as we get it done, I'll stop talking.
No,
Get started.
So it's not easy. 5 plus y equals 12.
So you know it's y equals
So 5
It's this one plus 3 divided by 1 plus 8.
1 plus.
So that would be 5 equals 1 plus b c to the 0. 5 5 c equals 0. B equals do it again. 10 equals c equals 0.
Yeah, that's so over 1.
Oh wait, so initial this initial value is when x equals 0.
2b on the bottom.
Total value is y
Yeah, no, 1 plus b.
5, yeah, 5 b plus 5 equals 20.
No.
Because you got to distribute.
There you go.
Now you throw in the points that contain it, so you throw in.
Oh,
Okay. For step 1, I stuck 20 in for x. Is that what you did?
Yes.
Okay. For step 2, I put in my initial value, which is the y-intercept. So I put in 5 for y and 0 for x. Is that what you did?
Yep.
And then I went through some steps and solved that and got my b to be 3. Did I make any mistakes so far?
No.
So now I'm here.
Throwing your
And
container.
I'm ready to do my last one, which is the random point.
2,
10 equals 20 over 1 plus 3c squared. And then I multiply over my denominator. So 10 plus 30c squared equals 20. 30c squared equals 10. Did you get c to be the square root of 1/3?
I did, yeah. But like, you have to do something to that.
But you have to rewrite it, right?
Yeah, we're gonna have some.
And that number is 0.577. And then I'm ready to write my final answer, which is y equals 20.
20 over
1 plus 3 times 0.577 times x. Let's go!
Math is
It
fun.
is fun. It is fun.
So we don't use those coordinates or the 2 points.
In step 2, I plugged in 0,5. And in step 3, I plugged in 0,10.
Oh, okay.
What did you think I was saying?
He doesn't know. No, I know 0,5.
All right.